Hi, my name is Solomon, and I'm applying to your next TEDx San Antonio event in November 2018. This is going to be my second TEDx talk if you choose me. The topic for this one is how veterans hold the key to America's innovation. I hope it will change attitudes towards veterans, but not as a socially desirable activity, but rather as a competitive advantage that will bring the US to the top of the innovation charts once again. It is important to me because one, I am a veteran, and two, because I care about America's innovation. This is important to the audience because it gives a different perspective on veterans. After researching TED and TEDx talks related to veterans, what I found are talks about the experiences that veterans have during war, the challenges that they have coming back to society, PTSD, veteran homelessness, and the moral obligation that we have towards veterans, but not the value that they bring, and definitely not to innovation. My talk is unique in that it talks about the economic value to America from veterans and specifically how they affect innovation. First of all, because I am a veteran, the Israeli Defense Forces 35th Airborne Paratroopers Brigade, but also because I'm a researcher of innovation and innovation culture and have been doing that for the past 10 years, all the way since my PhD dissertation research. Let me give you a few highlights of this talk. There are over 20 million veterans in the US right now, and it is expected that by 2045 there's only going to be 12 million. 7% of adults in 2016 are veterans, and this is down from 18% in 1980, according to the Census Bureau. The number of active duty soldiers right now is 1.3 million, and this is down from 3.5 million in 1968. 1968 happened to be the topic of my previous TED Talk. Veterans unemployment is pretty consistent with the general population, which means that in general we have fewer and fewer veterans who are working. Here's another interesting statistic that changed over time. Bloomberg Innovation Index showed that the US was number 1 in innovation in 2013, number 3 in 2014, 6 in 2015, 8 in 2016, 9 in 2017, and this year for the first time we're not even in the top 10. We're number 11. The US patent system strength that was first every year, 2017 was number 10th, the 2018 was number 12th. My doctoral research was why are people so much more creative in startups than they are in mature companies? I can narrow it down to just one word: innovation culture. Okay, 2 words. I will share the model of innovation and trust in a very high level, but I will emphasize and highlight the areas where veterans are so much better than anybody else. This really started when I was asked to give a talk about why do we have so much innovation coming out of Israel. And as I tried to understand, I was sitting and watching these two Israelis sitting in an Einstein Brothers and starting to argue. And they were arguing in Hebrew and they used their outside voice. And as they started arguing and arguing, what I realized was they can hold this kind of argument without it becoming emotional and personal. And I tried to understand why is that unique to Israelis and realized in Israel, just like me, everybody has to serve a mandatory 3-year service. I served 15 years. I will finish this talk with one interesting statistic. In 1977, there was about 13,000 agreements across the parties in Congress in roll call votes. This number went down in 2007 from 13,000, even though the number of roll call votes went up 75%, it went from 13,000 to 181. The level of trust that we have in government, according to research, showed that in 1964, 77% of participants said they trusted the government. In 2015, this number was 19%. And here is another interesting correlation. In 1975, 81% of the senators were veteran. In 1967, 75% of the US House Representatives were veterans. Today, Those numbers are 20% and 19%. Thank you.